First of all, I just wanted to thank everybody for coming out. And before I get started, by the way, it was brought to my attention that there's a part of the book that Paul loved, and he really wanted me to share this with you, so hang tight 1 second before I get on to the actual reading, okay? So let me get to this. Very short and sweet. I was quite nervous about sex. Would Paul expect it? Would I be enough for him? Well, we did have sex, and it was amazing. The end. That was
it. You're welcome. Well done, Paul. Good job,
Paul. It was so funny because I came in one day, and he's like, Shani, come upstairs. It's really important. I've got something to show you. Okay, so I go upstairs thinking something really serious, right? I go into the office. Paul pulls it up, starts scrolling through, and he's like, look, that's the best part of the book.
Inspirational.
Yes, inspirational. So I wanted to start off with my why, because a lot of people ask why I would write a book like this, and why it would be okay putting in the content that I have, especially because there's some really personal things in there, things I'm ashamed of. But I felt like if I didn't put all of the content in, it's not the truth. So I started writing a diary when I was 19. This is how it all started. And it was a therapeutic outlet for me. So I continued to write to help me get through any emotions that I was feeling at the time, and it really helped. Over time, it evolved into more. And it was about 7 or 8 years ago that I decided that I want to publish it, but I was too scared. And I pulled out. And I decided not to continue writing until the time felt right. So recently, in 2020, I decided to put all my thoughts to paper in a real way, because I felt like it was important not only to help those that are suffering the same thing. I wanted them to relate to what they were reading and know that they're not alone, but also I wanted people who were trying to support their loved ones through recovery, because it's also their recovery. It's not just the person going through it. It touches so many. So what I'd like to say is it's important to bring awareness to mental health and how it can manifest into something more destructive, such as an eating disorder, and this is how War With Myself was born. So I'm just gonna do something a little bit different. So a few people kept telling me I should read a large passage from the book. Yeah, I'm not doing that. So what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna take a few short pieces that I felt really touched me, and other people that had read it, they felt like it touched them too. So in context of everything together, it might not make sense, but individually, it's just those quotes that I felt mean more, so if you just hang tight. Usually, when it was happening, I'd lay there until he was done, and then we'd both go our separate ways. This time, there was a sensation I'd never felt before. It tingled and felt warm. I couldn't explain it, but I liked it. When he was done, I was still. I was numb. Then I'd have an emotional feeling that I didn't know how to describe. At this age, I knew this was wrong, but I never stopped him, or told him, or anybody. I allowed it. I never once spoke to him about it, nor did he with me ever. I quickly realized that the emotions I was feeling were disgust and shame. Disgust that I never said no, and ashamed that I liked it. How sick am I? I was so confused. One day, 2 girls jumped me. They dragged me by my hair and repeatedly slammed my head against the concrete path. The whole ordeal was extremely aggressive and was especially traumatic. The layers of hurt continued to grow day by day, and as time went by, I was stripped of the person I was to make way for the person I'd become, someone I didn't know. I put on some music. I knelt on the floor, gulping down water as I prepared myself mentally. I opened the bag as wide as I could and stared into it for a few seconds before I forced my fingers down my throat. I continued until I was dry heaving. My abdominal muscles hurt, and my throat was sore. It isn't enough to eat healthy and hope that nothing triggers a purge. Staying strong emotionally and physically throughout working out is important, but also isn't enough. Dealing with your emotions from past traumas is a crucial part of the healing process, but on its own, it isn't enough. Taking time to yourself to reflect and relax, giving back and being grateful for what you have. They all have healing properties, but unfortunately it just isn't enough. Tears began to form when I grasped what this meant. I needed mind, body, and spiritual fulfillment. I needed to embrace and feed it all. This was the prescription for my happy, healthy, and fulfilled life. I am beautiful. I am strong. I am a survivor. Thank you.